I'm Meg.
And I'm Rebecca.
And the name of your school?
Ballyclare High School.
Just tell me a little bit about your project then.
Well, in March last year, a scientist called Connie Grob from Switzerland started looking into mineral oils in food packaging and how it could get through the packaging and contaminate the food. And the BBC started doing programmes on this, and then Food Standards Agency started looking at all the different like Weetabix and Kellogg's and Jordan's, and they started carrying out experiments on all their types of boxes to see how much mineral oil they contained. And a man from Jordan's came and talked to us about how they had changed their packaging to make sure that mineral oils didn't get through.
And then we conducted an experiment to see which newspaper contained the most mineral oil. It was between The Sun and a glossy magazine, like OK. And they found a peculiar result that the newspaper contained more mineral oil than the magazine. So we came up with our own ink, which is called soy ink. It's made of granular soy lecithin, vegetable oil, food colouring and water. And you mix it all together and you get an ink-like substance. And then we painted with it and we tested it, and it's a good ink, but it has a disadvantage that it can't be used in like a pen or a personal printer cartridge. But we went to a place in Belfast which is called Interpress, and they're like a printing company that print newspapers, and they said that they tried using soy ink before, but it was very watery and it didn't dry very well. So they said that if we made it thicker, and they would consider taking our idea on and using it in the newspaper, so try to cut down the use of mineral oil.
What made you think of the topic then?
Well, it was the BBC programmes started coming on TV and all, and on their website, and we started looking into how they had got the idea of that, and it was from the scientists in Switzerland, which happened in March time last year. And then the Food Standards Agency started carrying out their reports and all. So.
This is obviously a project then that has ramifications as far as the real world is concerned.
Yeah, it does. Because if you find a solution to food contamination, because there's every 97,000 cases reported of food contamination, there's only 500 deaths. So it might be to do with mineral oil. We haven't investigated yet. But for like a further investigation, like in the future, we would try and see if we could find out if the cereal in the box was actually contaminated from mineral oil. But that would be a few years away.
And how long have you been working on the project then?
Well, we started in about May time last year for another competition, and but this year we've advanced it, and like we've had visits from Jordan's and went to Interpress in Belfast.
And you hope to continue past the competition here?
Yeah, it would be good to continue on and see if we can actually make a difference with soy ink.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lisa.
And your school?
Ballyclare High School.
Tell me a little bit about the project.
Okay, simply what our project is really what happens inside a speaker like this. Okay, so all that it needs to work is a magnet, a piece of foil or wire with a current passing through it.
Very simple then.
Yeah, it is. Again, there's a lot of science behind it, but you know, the demonstration is quite straightforward, yeah.
So what are you trying to show then in the project?
What we're trying to get is when we play music through the foil, it's always fizzly and it's a lot of distortion. But when we record it through the computer, we find that it had almost perfect results. So we've been trying to get the foil to match the computer, and that way the foil would be improved. And we've been trying different experiments to get it to be improved, such as laminating the foil or putting blocks in it to hold it in place, which will restrict the movement, so therefore the sound won't be as distorted.
And did you get anywhere close to that?
Well, we were able to record the results through Audacity and make graphs, as you can see here. And from these graphs we were able to make comparisons and see what was the closest to getting the perfect sound that was made through the computer. And by using the laminated foil we were able to get the best results.
And is there a specific reason for using foil?
Well, we found that it was probably one of the best materials because it is a conductor, and also it has a big enough surface area so that the waves can be produced with a good enough volume. But then again, it's not too small so that it still produces enough sound.
Also, its flexibility helps because the likes of the uses of other metals wouldn't work as well because it actually needs to be able to move with the waves.
From my old days of loudspeakers, whatever, Is this like have you heard of electrostatic speakers? Is this very similar?
Yes, it's very similar, only the idea is that we're trying to mix music with science and make it interesting to somebody of our age, because obviously music is really something that everybody likes to focus on at our age, and bringing it together is something that interests many people.
And how long have you been working on the project?
Well, we started it in mid-September, and there we were thinking of ideas and how could we develop the project. And then in October we decided we need to do some backup research, and then the project really got on the way after that.
And is this the sort of project that actually has an outcome at the end of the day?
Well, the great thing is, where we finish this experiment is that we can go down any route. There's so many extra things we could experiment with, and again, someday as it is relevant, someday this could be a product that could be in people's houses or something. With extra experimenting, we can get the best results,
So if that's the case, does it have a commercial side?
Well, it very well could have, because it's also anyone could be interested in buying something like that, because it looks sciencey, and people might like to look at sciencey stuff, and also it could be cheaper than an actual speaker because of the simple set out. So
it's the crocodile clips that give it away, isn't it?
I think because it really does represent science in such a way, and connecting science and music is just so interesting that I think it would really relate to so many people.